Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Nacho Tuesday. And today I have Shub here with InboxAlly, and I have Adrian here with Email Angels. So without further ado, we'd love if you guys could introduce your companies and what you guys do over there.
So I'm representing InboxAlly. I'm a co-founder there. So InboxAlly is a deliverability tool that helps our clients to improve their email deliverability, and we do that by moving their emails out of spam. We can go over the details. I will move over to Adrian, please.
Yeah. So I'm Adrian. I do deliverability consulting. So I consult with largest companies in the world and the smallest, tiniest one, and really help them to inbox. And that is a thing that's been very popular lately. It's people are just like, oh, there's such thing as an inbox percentage. Like it actually happens. It matters with revenue, and it's actually pretty easy to get into the inbox. It's just a different form of thinking. So, but it definitely helped with the bottom line. So that's what I specialize in, has been doing that for the last 10 years only.
Wow. But you're very popular these days because I feel like email marketing has become a very specialized thing. If you actually want to show up in inboxes.
Yeah, no, it was, back in the days, like when you were like a marketing director back in 2012, you did Google ads, you did SEO, you did email, you did everything, right? Those days are over. It's like, so you got to pick a lane, right? And even within email, there are niches, micro niches. So it's getting really fancy these days.
Oh yeah, it's a lot more nuanced. I mean, everybody figured out how to just spam people with endless emails.
Yeah.
That marketers, it's always a cat and mouse game, right? We're always trying to figure out a new method, and then that gets blocked, and then we try to figure out a different way. But it's getting harder and harder these days. So that's why they got to come to the experts like you, or use a platform like InboxAlly to actually show up in the inboxes.
Yeah, I had a guy called me the other day, and he was like, "Hey, Adrian, it's like I heard you're an expert in email. Like I have a million users on the list. I want to get my business and just send them for free." I was like, I think you're better off like doing a Facebook campaign with an opt-in into Aweber. You just can't deliver those 1 million emails. It's just not going to work, and it's going to cost you a lot of money to be able to do that. So,
yeah. So I guess how did you guys get in cahoots and start working with each other?
Oh, we know what's Darren, which started InboxAlly. He has a seed system which actually help people to inbox much better if you don't have an engaging audience. And just to get and then I knew him, and then he did manual seed before, and they got an automated system, and Shub built it. So that's how I met Shub, through Darren. That was like 4 years ago. Yeah,
around that.
4 years ago. So I needed those seeds, so I jumped on that right away, and then we've been working together with a lot of different projects together since then. Yeah,
very exciting. So I guess what sets InboxAlly apart from the crowded email deliverability space? I heard you guys are one of the best for actually getting people's emails into the inbox.
So we go step ahead, like other traditional tools that are currently in the market. They just monitor the placement, that where emails are getting delivered, whether into the inbox or into the spam, or they use some sort of APIs. Whereas at InboxAlly, we open and engage with your emails on the real browser. We move them out of spam and promotions and reply and perform all sorts of engagement actions, which helps and build trust with the corresponding email providers, and a long-term trust, and which is very much required. And email providers are very advanced today with the advent of AI. They can understand when you're engaging with APIs or something of that sort. So with real browsers, we are able to stimulate human behavior, and that's where our edge is as of now.
Great. So essentially, you're helping improve email engagement and conversions by tricking the systems into thinking that they're real, it's real human interaction, as opposed to a lot of these tools just use a lot of automation and a lot of fake warm-ups and everything like that. What else kind of separates you guys from some of the other tools out there?
Apart from the real engagements that we do, we look into the email content, and we look into the sending pattern and behavior. We work with almost with all of our clients. We work one-to-one. We look into their domain authentication, domain configurations. We continuously improve our system. So like Adrian mentioned, we started with seed emails, but now we look into their domain configurations, SPF, DKIM, DMARC. We tell them how to improve it, and we also help them with the best practices. And also with the seed emails, we analyze their content on an ongoing basis, and we are also looking at other integrations to smoothen down the process, because it's such a complex thing nowadays with Google and with all email providers coming up with new compliances. So it's so difficult for the customers to catch up with with all new compliances that are coming up. So we help them and understand, and with the help of our system, we help them improve and configure that correctly.
Great. Adrian, I guess, what are some of the biggest changes that have happened to email marketing over the last year, or even two for that matter? I know Yahoo and Google has recently had a lot of updates within the last 365 days. Do you want to cover some of those that marketing?
Yeah, we're actually like, I'm not going to go to like too many details of all the changes. So I'll just say where it's going, because I think that's easier. Basically going towards the email industry hasn't changed a lot the last 20 years. The tech is really easy, but what they're doing now is they're trying to recognize spam a little better by brand alignment. So you're sending domains and your IPs are attached, and they're tracked through from the beginning of the funnel to the end of the funnel with different type of authentication methods. And there's more authentication that is going to come. It's this cat and mouse game. But the problem is that people get inundated with cold email. They can't even read their inbox anymore. So there's got to be an answer to this. So they're coming there, and we are not talking about the things that people don't understand. Is like, we're not talking about the mail from the Target that you didn't want, or your mail that you're sending to your clients that don't want. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like almost 90% of all email volume out there are malicious email. That we're talking about viruses, phishing, like real bad. Your emails for this audience are not spam. Like, we're talking about everything else, like, and people doing attacks and just sending a bunch of emails. So what we're doing now is we're tightening up the regulations, and they're tightening up the alignment and authentication, so they can know who is sending. So if you're a wild sender and you just spun up an IP and domain from whatever and you don't authenticate it, then it's supposed to be moved into spam. But I have to say though that even though those changes have come into fruition, we still mail the same, which basically is the right message to the right users, the right time. It will still prompt any authentication. If you're not really that well authenticated and you send email that people want, it will still deliver, still to this day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not all doom and gloom then.
It is not. It is not. It's actually a good thing, because it's like they're not trying to stop this audience. They're trying to stop the malicious mailers that are just hackers that just sends blindly millions and billions of emails every day. Yeah.
And where do cold email marketers kind of fall into that? There's definitely a way to overdo it with cold email marketing. Maybe do they look for like a high volume, maybe repeating the same message over and over again? What other?
Yeah, so what's happening with cold emails is a different thing, especially if you're talking to B2B. Like if you have a SaaS product and you want to get into other business owners, and as you know, like there's a limited business owners, because once you go business, then there's only that many businesses you can send to in US, right? Especially within your niche, there's only that many like restaurants that you can send to, for example, right? So of course, cold emailing has been very popular the last 2 years. It used to work crazy a couple of years ago. Now you see 4 times less engagement at least, and that's just a competition of who is going to go into the inbox. There's only so much room, right? Yeah. So what Google is doing, if you're talking Gmail particularly, is like they're calculating the activity on your email from when it's sent. So the more activity you have in the beginning, the easier it is for the whole blast to sort of get into the inbox, which is where InboxAlly comes in. Because what they do is that you put in some seeds first, and they have crazy activity right away. They click and they open right away, and it tells Google is like, oh, people want this email. So the rest of the emails sort of gets into the inbox, and you have a much better ROI on your drop. So cold email is definitely getting harder and harder. I think if you get 2 to 3 responses per 100 emails sent, that's considered good.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's gotten a lot different then.
Yeah.
I guess any tactics that you would recommend for email marketing success relative to the latest changes? Anything specific, like the copy or?
I definitely do think so. Like, I do think like And first of all, is like you gotta look at things like a marketer. Where does the email funnel attach to the rest of the business? It's not a separate thing. Okay, user comes in, and then you have to. So I recommend send more emails. So if the user comes in and create an account, you send an email, right? And you send a welcome series after that. If you use some features on your SaaS product, then you trigger an email based on what they're doing in the app. The reason is because the person is in front of the computer. And then he's going to read his email. So find excuses to send emails anywhere. Okay, so so let's say if you have a gaming app, right, and you have virtual coins in there, you will say like, hey, I'm going to send you an email every day with 10 coins if you open and click the email, right? And you can say that, well, why would you do that? It's because you're creating engagement, right? You need to create engagement everywhere. That's the key to getting into the inbox. More emails that are engaging. If you're sending a lot of emails that people don't engage with, then you're out of luck. So you have to think engagement and tether it into the activity they do in the software and mirror that over to the email. That's how you're going to have success. That's my biggest advice. Yep. And if you don't have that, like, you can use InboxAlly to sort of help you to boost that engagement. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a great point, actually. So I'd love to dive in more into how InboxAlly helps improve email engagement. Is there any other big myths or misconceptions about email deliverability that InboxAlly looks to address? Shub?
Yeah, of course. So one thing is that, like Adrian mentioned, so one is that in the email marketing thing, people think that more emails means more result. It is more about the more emails getting into the inbox. That is more important. So the right time, right content, right audience. This is a combination that has to be there. Unless this is fixed, you can't go with the spray and pray kind of thing that you just send million emails and wait for the results. It's not going to happen. So you have to be authenticated, domain authentication and all those things. The quality matters a lot nowadays. So the right content, right people, and right timing is very, very important. So that has to be addressed. So that I still come across clients or the leads that they want to focus on million. They just want to blast the emails, which is not going to work anymore. You can't just go out and send million emails and just start praying, okay, I will get the results. That doesn't work, and this has to change.
Yep. So you think a crawl, walk, run is definitely the right approach. Get that engagement going. That'll kind of help you build so you could actually start sending more emails at a bigger scale. But you got to start slow, right?
Yes, you got to start slow, and you need to send your engaging users first, and you need to filter your list by the engaging audience. And if you don't have the engaging audience, that's where that's where we come into the picture. That you can start using our seed emails, and our seed emails are going to get you the initial boost. But thereafter, you need to filter out your audience. You can't just start doing bad emailing or start sending to bad audience and wait for the results. It is not going to work. So initial boost and ongoing domain protection, that is where we are going to come into the picture. But still, you need to follow the best practices. You can't skip them.
Yeah. So do you feel like a lot of people just kind of throw all their users into one bucket? Especially, it seems like a lot of marketers probably do that. They're like, okay, if they're on our newsletter list, we're just going to throw them all into the same bucket.
Yeah, this is a really good point. And I think a lot of this is like, you come into a company, it's like, you're an email marketer, just send, right? Like, look, you exist on a different island. And a lot of email marketers are tech guys, not marketers. So they're not really thinking about the user journey. If anything, like, email has the highest ROI still of any marketing channel out there, right? And if you do it right, you'll get a lot of engagement through email, or a lot of revenues to email. It's very, very powerful, and it's very stable once you get it up and going. It's almost like a ship. Like, once it runs, it's a tank.
Yep.
And then so that's what, but you need to talk to the you need to align the whole team with the SaaS guys, the product guys. Like, everyone needs to work together in order to tether email as an arm, a part of your body. It doesn't operate differently. If you go there, the arm goes with you, right? If you move that direction, so you need to, like, and I see this so many times. Like, if I go in and consult with clients, it's like, why aren't you tethering with your team? Why aren't what you're doing on your app side the same as you're doing on the email side? Why aren't they mirroring? Because it's just another way for the user to communicate you. Like you have SMS, you have online ads, you have emails, you have in-app notifications. All the kind of things needs to talk together and needs to synchronize for the user journey. So if anything, like if you're an email marketer, sit down with your marketing team or your CEO of your company and basically say, okay, what message do we want to give to the user? When do we going to give it to the users? And you need to sit down and you need to design it. You need to plan it out. So the user is always in front of his computer when you send an email. And an email is not a separate thing. It's not going to work well if you just send random offers or random thing that the users are really not interested in. So it's and also emails becomes habitual. So the users that are usually get the emails, hopefully you can design emails of some value. You need to invest in the email program. You just can't be asking for stuff. You need to have something that they want when they open your email. Is there some information there that will help them to move them towards their goal? Or is there a really good offer in there? If you just try to ask through your emails all the time, the people get numb to it and they just tune it out like anything else.
Yeah, that's I see a lot of marketers do that. A lot of people, we don't empathize enough with our customers and think in terms of, am I interrupting somebody? Am I adding value to them by sending them this email or any sort of marketing for that matter?
And
overdo it.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things I want to tell people is like in your email, talk like a human. Like you're talking to a human. And what do we do mostly on our emails is personal emails to someone else. Don't treat the inbox like an ad. It's not. It's not an ad on Facebook. It's actually like you talking to someone like they're a person and you're a person. So the closer you can get to that connection with someone, it's like, hey, we're talking now. The better it is. And the emails doesn't need to look fancy. In fact, text-based emails are proven time again to work much, much better. Unless you're running a Gucci design store where you need to show off your bag, right? There are scenarios where you can't use text, but even then you can just play it up and say, click here to reveal this beautiful bag, and you just get a click, right? That's important, guys. It's like you need to have an action in your email. You just can't look at the email as an appetizer, and the meal is when they click the email and land on the page, right? So the email should always stimulate people to click. That's your only goal. So whatever trickery you can use in order to get them to click, as long as it's aligned with what's on the landing page, you're going to do really well, because it's a math calculation for in the background. It's like how many people are actually clicking the email. So you need to have a strong reason for them to click, and don't serve the whole meal in the email. So if, for example, you're going to relay a message, it's like, hey, it's going to be so-and-so weather, click here to read more, right? So it needs to be a strong appetizer in order for them to move to the meal. And when they get to the landing page, it's much different. You can do multivariate testing, you can cookie them, you can retarget them, do all kinds of stuff. You don't want them to end with the email and be satisfied and move on. They have to click in order to finish that desire, whatever desire you put in.
Engagement's everything these days.
Yeah.
Even on social media, I guess, it's the same for email marketing. If you're not getting engagement, you're not going to get that boost. You're not going to actually get any sort of results from it. And you get, delisted, or not delisted, but you don't show up as much.
Yeah, that's a snowball effect. That's how we bit on the social media, the emails. Like Adrian mentioned, the initial emails, that gives you the snowball effect, and more emails start. So if your initial emails get engagement, that's a snowball effect that is going to happen on your future emails.
Yeah. So that's the point. Yeah. So especially the early emails, it's very important to get that click. It's very important to have some sort of an offer, something really compelling to get people to want to start engaging with their emails. That'll open them up to start receiving more emails from you in the future, and just increases your overall email domain reputation.
Yeah. It is important to say, though, and I think Shub mentioned it, was when you're sending a list, a blast. So let's say you can send to like 10,000 users. Yep. You want to, like Shub said earlier, and I think I just want to iterate what we were saying, because it's very important, is that have your most engaging audience first, and sort of throttle your email. So don't deliver them all at once. And also don't deliver them on a full hour and half an hour, because that's when everyone does it. So, I typically, I typically throttle the emails over 2 hours. So I basically tell the email system, it's like, I drop these 10,000 over 2 hours. But the first 1,000 or 2,000 are my most engaging users. And the reason is because like you get all the engagements, and then Google, and we know this because we've been using bots, right? And we can see like if the email doesn't, like we can look at all the screens. So we look at like 100 screens at one time, like when we screen record it, and we see what happens in the inbox. You send the email, it goes to the inbox. Nobody clicks on it. The whole blast moves into spam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's such a key point right there. It's such a small thing, right? But I mean, that could have a massive improvement for what people are typically doing with their newsletters.
For sure. And we don't know why. And if you ask someone, they probably wouldn't even know. But this is something we know from practice because we can see, we have screen recorders. We can see what happens in the inbox. So, and that's where InboxAlly comes in, because like you can then use your first 1,000 users can be seeds and they can click and open right away. And that will help the rest of the emails to go into the inbox. So yeah, that's one way to use it.
Very cool. Yeah, InboxAlly. We'll probably actually need to sign up for it, even though we're a partner with we're a partner with InboxAlly. We'll have to probably take advantage of that offer that we actually have. So I'm sure you guys probably get a lot of companies that come to you after they've already screwed the whole thing up. So they probably have a lot of spam. A lot of their emails are going to spam, low open rates. What do you do to help these guys? Yeah, I'm sure that's where a lot of people kind of finally reach out to you guys for.
Yeah. I'll take a stab at it, Shub, because I've done so many steps. I'm gonna jump in here. Okay, so there are different scenarios here. If you are on a Klaviyo or on a MailChimp, you have to see if you are on a shared pool, right? So basically, you can do seed testing using, for example, Gluck apps. You send an email and you can look at the headers, but they will show you. If the IP and domain rotates, you know that you're a part of a sender pool. So that means what all the other senders are doing, it affects you because like you're on the same sort of credit score. So what you do there doesn't really matter as much. So you would need to go out, either you would need to contact Klaviyo and basically say, hey guys, like we have good engagements, but for some reason we're having crap reputation, right? You can go into something we call Postmaster tools and you can see the score of your domain and your IP, right? Which is important because if it's not green, then a larger percentage is going to the spam. But, and by the way, there's always a percentage that goes to spam. It's not 100% of inbox. So then if you go to Klaviyo then and you basically say, hey, I want to upgrade to a better pool. Can you get me into a better sending pool? This is junk, right? If that doesn't work, you can go to a dedicated domain and a dedicated IP. What you can do is you can use the InboxAlly seeds to warm it up, and it takes like exactly 4 days, and you need 1,200 seeds a day. And when you send that, you get a green reputation, and then you can start sending your real data, most active data first, and then you look at your Postmaster tools and check that it's green, and then you start sending more and more risky emails, meaning that reactivate people you haven't heard from 6 months, and then you see your spam complaint ratio, and you make sure that is under 0.3, and if it is, then you just keep sending, and that's how you sort of maintain your sending score. Yeah, so that's
you want to ease into it. It seems like like we said, like the crawl, walk, run approach. I suppose everybody just wants to hit the ground running and get more business.
That's not going to work. It's the slow game. Yes, turtle wins an email every time.
Wow. And what Adrian mentioned, just what we are doing at InboxAlly, we are integrating this visibility within your platform. So you can look at the IP reputation, spam complaint rate, and we are coming with the domain reputation tracking within the platform to make it easier for the customers to not go into multiple places and look at data points, because it is there are so many things to look at. So we are bringing it into one place.
That's great. So how do you guys measure success at InboxAlly for your clients and your internal team? Say somebody comes in, their domain reputation's not looking that good. Well, they're getting a lot of their emails showing up in spam. Where do you guys kind of start, and where do you like to finish with your clients after they've used your tool?
So when our customers start, the first thing is they send on seed emails and they look at the placement, depending upon their deliverability, how many emails are they, getting delivered into the spam. Mostly mostly they start with somewhere around 50-60% emails getting delivered into the spam, and over the course of next 3 to 5 weeks, depending upon the use case, we help them achieve 80 to 90% inboxing easily.
Oh wow, and that's a huge change.
Yeah, that's a huge change. It depends upon like obviously if you are our service works with good emails very easily because the content and everything. So if you have a good content and following best practices, it's very easy to get the results, and immediately that starts reflecting into the ROI. So it is very easy to justify once you start sending to seed emails and you see something like 10%, 15% open rate earlier, and using and we have customers who use InboxAlly, and after 3 weeks they see like going from 9%, and this is a real number, from 9% to 27%. Within 2 weeks, they saw that kind of boost, and immediately that turned into ROI. So it's that's how we measure the success, at how many emails are getting delivered into the inbox, how we are impacting the placement of your emails. And internally, we work with the clients and we measure the success, and we continue to innovate our product and integrating it to and making it easier for the customers to use.
So I guess I know where you guys got your name from, InboxAlly.
Yes.
So you guys have probably co-developed a lot of these features with customers along the way. I know you worked with Adrian very early on. You guys kind of did 0 to 1 together as a company.
Yes.
in terms of product development and everything. So I guess how have your customers kind of helped you guys develop some of your features based on their feedback? And I guess what other exciting features should people expect coming up soon?
Every bit of it is coming through customer feedback. Initially, we launched with seed emails, but thereafter, Avian and other customers helped us a lot in understanding what they need, so how we should improve. And currently, what we are working on is that we are like I said about Google Postmaster and bringing in those these domain authentication and domain configuration. So it's with so many platforms out there, it's getting complicated to configure and getting the visibility. So we are working on it to bring everything into the one platform and make their life easier so that they can get the visibility as easily as possible, the holistic picture of their email deliverability with all their email providers, so that they can look at it and can improve and make and tailored suggestion based on their infrastructure. That's what we have it on our horizon this year.
Great. What do you guys see around what's around the curve, I guess, in 2025 for email marketing strategies? Is there anything the marketers should be aware of that you would expect to see over the next year? I mean, obviously AI is probably going to play a big role in everything, but any other high level macro changes that you think might happen?
Yeah, I mean, I can take a stab at that, Shub.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you're saying. It's authenticity. AI is a huge thing. But I talked about this 4 years ago. Like nobody believed me. I said they're gonna answer the email for you in 3 years, and they did. But where we're going now is like people are talking through bots to each other, right? And people are becoming completely numb to AI. It's not working. Like they can tell. Like unless you have a really, really good bot that are having human flaws, or there are probably AIs that do that too. But for your ChatGPT and those things, like people smell that long day. So it's almost like human flaws is what's being celebrated these days, because you're not a perfect robot. I mean, you got wrinkles in your skin. It's a part of becoming a human. So flaws, realness, because the AI can't copy you. So so especially like if you have a brand, make sure that brand marries over to the email, or if you even better, if you have an influential CEO, that those are on the email talking to people and being real and being themselves, not scared of making mistakes, not scared of saying the right thing or stuff like that. Those are the things that's going to work, because then they know it's a human, and then they know you care, because it's not just automated by ChatGPT and it doesn't mean anything. Because when you read it, it's like it just goes like a wind through your brain. So realness, Andy, is where we're going towards. Imagine that.
Yeah, everything kind of comes back full circle, right? I've seen it too with AI strategies used across the board. I think in general, people are just becoming numb to it. So they're kind of, everybody just, they really just want that human interaction again. It always kind of comes back to that. And I think, even for email deliverability, as more people get their hands on AI tools, and the amount of email marketing is going to scale as well. And it's all going to be automated. And that means the mail server like Google and Yahoo and these guys are going to get even more strict. So it's going to become even more important to be authentic and driving more engagement with your emails, and not just solely relying on
it's a problem, because they're trained by the emails and they're trained by the websites, and now everything's made by AI. So now AI is training itself, sort of a thing. So it's kind of like an echo thing in there. So basically, like the math that we added now, it's like I think like if you're for every 5,000 emails that Gmail receives, they use a large language model and sort of try to analyze the content of the email. And what we find now is that if you're very spammy, it can actually follow the content. It's that good now. So it's beyond the IP reputation and domain reputation. It's actually like it can recognize your content, and it basically like can ban all snowshoeing. So if you're sending the same email across many different domains and IPs, it will likely be caught and trapped. So realness is the way to go. Talk to people like there's a person in front of you. You're just doing it through technology. And I really recommend people to like just be themselves with all the flaws they have, and just talk to their customers and solve their problems. And it's the most basic things, but these days that's what's going to stand out. Like, don't automate your emails on ChatGPT or something. I really feel that's a wrong direction to go.
Yeah, just because it's easy doesn't mean it's the right way to do it. Kind of reminds me of that Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other.
Yep.
It's like AI just identifying AI. It's like, hey, wait, you're AI too. Like,
exactly.
That's a great takeaway. Yeah, just authenticity is going to be the key going forward with AI, as it becomes easier to just
the Google knows. The Google if it's AI written. They know, because so it's going to have less priority. It just is.
And can just get you flagged even, from an SEO perspective too, right? If you're just popping out AI written blogs, they'll flag you for that, right? And the same's going to happen to email if it's not already happening at the moment.
Yep. No, it is. It is happening. So it's definitely happening. So that's what's coming for this year. Is going to be more and more of it. I see so many tools under development, so many tools launched. I don't know how it's going to be room for those in the market space, but I do feel like some of them have their uses, but you gotta come down to the realness and talk to people, because that we crave human connection. We do, and we can smell that AI sort of artificial marketing junga everywhere. Like I just want to puke.
That's like, kind of you factor to it.
I mean, you go into LinkedIn posts, it's just like, yeah, that's a ChatGPT post. It's like you might as well not post, in my opinion. It's like just forget about it, man.
Yeah, just like you think you're smarter than me, you're gonna send me this AI written copy like I'm not gonna know.
Yeah. It's like I know you're doing your content strategy now, and I'm sorry I'm not following that. Like it's like because you spent 5 minutes every Sunday morning and wrote a 7-day cycle for your LinkedIn through ChatGPT. No,
those AI images, and some people are just doing them for everything. It's so cheesy too. You're like,
it doesn't work. It's like with the guys that are on LinkedIn and being real, and they're talking to their audience and giving the audience what they want with this raw sort of. That's the way to go with email too. Yeah.
Wow. So I guess Shub, any key points about InboxAlly that you would like to get across for anybody that's looking to pick you guys up today and start using your software? I guess what are the top 3 features or features that people can expect to get from an InboxAlly, and why they should pick it up today?
Of course, yes. So if obviously the email marketers that are facing any sort of issues or deliverability issues, they should work with us, and we can customize a deal and offer for them. And going forward in this year, the top one is that obviously the authenticity that we spoke about it. That is a key differentiator I want to re-highlight over here. That is that we do it on the real browsers. We try to do it, and we also have some manual processes involved, so that that completely differentiates us and give us the authenticity that Google is other email providers are looking for. And the 3 features or features that we are going to come up with within this year and that are on our development roadmap are we are integrating Google Postmaster, and we are integrating different email sending platforms so to make it easier to validate their list. So that is one thing that we are doing, and also we are improving the engagement mechanisms that we do. So like we are also adding the timings and other ways that for example the all engagements are not processed immediately, which Google knows that it is all faking out. So we have it spread it out over certain hours. So we are trying to observe and improve and mimic the exact human behavior, and so far we have been able to do it, and we are planning to do that going forward as well.
Yeah. I think like the final thing I want to say about InboxAlly that I really like, the people that's kind of like, first of all, the scores you're getting out there, the Postmaster tool scores and the IP scores and domain reputation, God knows what they call it, depending on what technology you're using. That the thing is with InboxAlly is will tell you exactly what ratio of your email lands in the inbox and what goes to spam. It's amazing. Because it's like the tools can say whatever they want, and it's like, oh, only 20% of my emails went into the inbox. What's going on here? And that can happen. Yeah. All the tools around you can say, "Oh, green is everything is fine," and then you use the seeds, and you see, God, 80% went to the spam. What's going on here? So the ability to see where emails land, and if something goes wrong in your program, that you can see the seeds start moving to spam, and you need to do something. I think that is a huge competitive advantage. And having some of the pulse, and you don't need too many seeds to do that, right? You can have 100 of them going out with every blast. So that gives you some kind of like peace of mind that that your email is going into the inbox.
Yeah, like how do you start to fix something if you don't know where you're at? You're operating blindly.
Exactly.
Even if you choose 100 seed emails, you can configure them. So you can have like 20 of this provider, 20 of that provider, 20 of Google, 20 of Microsoft. You can choose those providers and you can split it across and can see and like Adrian mentioned, you can see the visibility where your emails are getting delivered. And also that is one problem. And there are customers who come to us who says that they have deliverability problem. Their emails are landing into the spam, but in reality, they have delivery errors. So their emails are not even getting through. So they come to know that, okay, why emails are not getting read? Your emails are not getting delivered. So
that's problem number one. Yeah, if a tree falls in the woods, doesn't make a sound, right? So where can people learn more about InboxAlly, and where can they pick it up today?
They can just visit our website, InboxAlly.com. And of course, if we have an offer with you, they can sign up with that offer and can avail that offer with you.
Yeah, for everybody listening, yes, they are a great partner of ours in the NachoNacho B2B SaaS marketplace, B2B SaaS and AI, actually, because we are adding a lot more AI tools. So very exciting times here. So definitely check it out today, and NachoNacho's B2B SaaS marketplace, or go to InboxAlly.com. And Adrian, where can people learn about your services? Say they need an email marketing expert. They're tired of doing the
Yeah, no, go to LinkedIn, Adrian Williams, Email Angels. That's typically where people contact me. I have a website, but website forms, they don't go anywhere. But it's emailangels.io. So find me on LinkedIn. I'm there. I also speak a lot of events out there. You'll find me there. I also help InboxAlly with some difficult problems. So if you get stuck, they might call me. So somehow you might see me through there.
InboxAlly needs an ally.
And I would like to acknowledge Adrian has been a key instrumental person in our company as a client, as an internal person. He has helped us a lot in shaping a lot of our features, and he has been great. He works closely with the clients, very, very closely. He knows the nerves. He can just sense it and can tell us the right problem.
Sounds like a great partnership that you guys have. So definitely, do you guys kind of come as a dynamic duo? Do you, can people pick up InboxAlly and also get Adrian's email marketing services?
There are times where I get called up on. If there's large clients, I will jump in and help out. So yeah, that might happen. Or if you need my services, they can always ask them too. They will always refer.
And if you're going to send an email pitch to him, make sure that it's authentic and very humanized. Otherwise, you might not see it.
No, we won't see it then.
Awesome. Well, guys, it's been a great chatting with you guys. A lot of great tips came out of this too. So I look forward to continuing to partner with InboxAlly. It sounds like you guys have a great platform over there. We need to probably check it out for ourselves, to be honest. So thanks again, everyone, for coming on today.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.